Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're doing another recording live stream of Hearthstone. It's April 19th, and we've got chats going on. Last recording I opened the legendary, and Loki wants to know which legendary I got. It's that one that starts with an O. Let's see if I can find it. It's like a 6 mana legendary that summons in. It was a classic card, so I can switch down to this and filter it down. It's the one that summons in as many 1/1 whelps as you need to fill in your deck. Here it is. Onyxa. Battle cry, summon 1/1 whelps until your side of the battlefield is full. 9 mana, 8 attack, 8 health card. That's the legendary. I got it. So, moving on with actually what we're supposed to be doing today. We need to get 2 victories with the Shaman or Mage, 2 victories with the Shaman or Warlock. So if I just get 2 victories with the Shaman in general, I will get 80 gold and be 3 of the 7 victories in any mode that I need done. For total dominance to get another 100 gold. So all I have to do is play a Shaman deck. Which, is this a Shaman? No, that's a Rogue. We have Overload spells attack, and we have, I think, a secondary Quest Murloc attack. And let's see, what are we at right now? Can we play either one of these in standard? No, so we gotta play wild. So we might as well just play wild ranked. So let's start with that, and here we go. Onyxia. Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it. Fake names that I've never dealt with. I just try my best. Total dominance can be done with friends. Interesting. So we could save a little bit of time according to Loki and do that. Yeah. Okay, so then I guess I can save an incredible amount of time and win 2 shaman victories. And then just start playing people that are online and want to play me. Well, if that's the case, then I need to move forward on the news and work here. Here's The Rock is put a video of himself in a giant Pikachu suit on Instagram. It's kind of creepy looking. In fact, any of those giant Pikachu things are kind of creepy. Pikachu only works as they only really work as a small little mouse-like creature. He doesn't look that good elsewise. I'm just gonna end my turn here. It's Onyxia. Yeah, and that's probably closer, Loki. Onyxia. Yeah. Let's see, moving on. GTA 5 is somehow being used to teach driverless cars. That's gonna end in tears, almost certainly. Like, I don't think GTA 5's particularly even that good of a car simulator. I would feel something closer to like Dirt 4 should be used to teach driverless cars, not GTA. Some researchers are also trying to zap muscles with electricity to simulate walls in VR. Again, that's going to end in tears. Like, I know there's devices now that they've allowed for general over-the-counter sales to do that. So I'm not completely ignorant of that. I'm just I think it's going to end up causing muscle tenderness and potentially like cramps. Yeah. Yeah, GTA 5 teaches driverless cars really well. Well, I suppose there is one reason why you would want to play GTA 5 versus a racing game. In most racing games, the pedestrians aren't able to interact with the cars. They're behind barriers, they jump out of the way or anything like that. In GTA 5 particularly, the game is designed to allow you to run over pedestrians. If you're trying to teach a driverless car not to run over pedestrians, then you just have to program it to do the opposite of what the game itself is programmed to. So I guess there is a level of logic into that. But it certainly does seem kind of crazy. Are we gonna win here? Almost certainly. And then this goes down every Murloc I control. So one more Murloc played at the next turn and I can do this and win, almost certainly. Halo Wars Definitive Edition is coming to Steam this week. It's getting updated graphics, DLC, Steam leaderboards, Steam Cloud Save, but no crossplay. So if you were really big into Halo Wars and you weren't playing it on Xbox to begin with or Windows Live, I guess you could get into it now and start with a whole new community, which might be a good thing. That way you don't just get your GTA 4 as well. Yeah. I imagine they wouldn't use GTA 4 low-key, but they probably... GTA 4 is definitely designed around the idea of being able to run over pedestrians. GTA 5 in particular has had a very long lifespan. Like, since it's come out, it's had something in the news about it for practically its entire release. You can't even go even a few months without something coming out about it. Either there's an interesting mod, or there's an interesting video of people doing something cool, or the Lindsay Lohan, I think, was the actress that was suing them for using her likeness, and she lost that copyright claim because they never called the character that they put on the front of the cover, even though it clearly was a photo reference drawing of Lindsay Lohan or whatever. They never called her Lindsay or in any way implied to it, so it was kind of a groundbreaking legal decision as far as copyright to say, even if somebody looks incredibly like you, you don't by default have a copyright on your own likeness, even if you're famous. The pedestrians were the same in GTA 4. Pretty much, yeah. But I doubt they would bother to use GTA 4 when they have GTA 5. There's probably more modding you can do on GTA 5 that helps the driverless cars. Which of the driverless car companies that's using that, I don't know. Speaking of that, Tesla came out or announced that they were making a truck that runs on batteries, which is an interesting but probably dumb idea, because when you have electrical gear motors and you put more resistance on them, they take more electricity, and they have a tendency to also create more heat. So unlike the sedan electric cars, which are not designed to haul anything or have anything really in their I want to say boot of their car, but in their trunk, using I've watched too much Top Gear. I'm using British colloquialisms. Since those cars aren't designed to really haul much more than the humans in it, the gear motors, which I assume are what they're using on either all the wheels as one gear motor, or they're doing all-wheel drive where it would be a motor on each one. They're not gonna use that. They're never gonna really vary in how much electricity they use to do one revelation. On a truck, what you expect from a truck is to hold a trailer, to have a boat behind you, or at the very least haul something. Now, in the United States, it is very, very common for people to buy trucks anyways, because they're very popular and they're very big and sturdy. So if you're in a sedan and you get in a wreck with a truck, you're gonna get a lot more damage on your car than if you just drove a truck and got in a wreck with another truck. And since they're very popular in the United States, people often get them and never use them, me included. The first car that I bought personally for myself was a Ford F-150, and I loved it to death, and then it got smashed by somebody who was drunk and just drove right into it as it was parked and destroyed my car. And after that point, I never really cared about owning cars again, because that was my baby, and I didn't. And you only have one first love. But I never used it nor did I ever really intend to use it as a actual truck or haul anything. So if you have an electric version of that, that might work very well for a person like me who wants to buy a truck just because it gives me more leg room and puts me higher off the ground and has more steel around me in case of an accident. But a person like me doesn't really ever imply to intend to haul anything or do anything with it, or have a job that would require any of that. That being said, every circle of friends should have at least one truck, in my opinion, so that when the inevitable friend needs to move, you can actually pack a bunch of their stuff into the truck and move, or if they need to haul something or move just one small thing. In general, though, if you're going to move an entire apartment or house, you're still going to end up renting a U-Haul, which is more like it's a truck too, but it's a specially built truck that has a roof over its head and is designed to be filled floor to ceiling with boxes and gives you a lot more space. Moving on from talking about trucks, since I really don't have anything that I'm supposed to be talking about video games, StarCraft and Brood Wars are now free, and it got the first patch in 8 years. It probably needs one little patch still because the profiles aren't working, but this is all in anticipation of the remaster of StarCraft 1. So what's interesting about this idea is it's still not on the Battle.net launcher, the Blizzard launcher as it's called now, and 8 years for Blizzard is apparently the profit window, and that sets an interesting precedent, because you kind of always have to wonder, when does abandonware actually become abandonware? Now, abandonware is not a legal definition. That you never lose your copyright for something just after a certain amount of time because of well, frankly, directly because of Disney always pushing that back and lobbying to have that pushed back. Otherwise, you would actually lose your window. It's supposed to be 80 years right now, I think, past the death of the creator. So Mickey Mouse is still under copyright when it should have been free domain many years ago, and frankly it would have helped society a lot more if it had gone free domain. And when you look at Disney, they're kind of abandoning animation completely and firing and screwing over their animators for live action versions of their movies. And so who's really keeping the money there in Disney? It's the people that are at the top, and then they're exploiting the animators. They're probably not doing their best job to avoid exploiting the Disney World, Disneyland workers and performers. And so the rich are getting richer off of creations of art that they really didn't have any hand in it. Like, I could understand if the actual animators of the original Mickey Mouse cartoons were getting residuals and they were making the money, but they're long since gone. They're not getting residuals. They're not doing anything at all, benefiting anything from it all. So why are we letting the corporate entity of Disney profit off of that animation when the entire society could profit and better itself from Mickey Mouse being free domain? If Mickey Mouse did go free domain tomorrow, it doesn't for a second stop Disney from continuing to make Mickey Mouse things. And Disney has a name behind it, so they would be trusted as the best Mickey Mouse creating animators available for right now, for a while. But people that wanted to do their own versions of Mickey Mouse cartoons could also do that, and that would be interesting. That would be very, very interesting, because then we might have a flood of mostly bad but sometimes good, sometimes great Mickey Mouse cartoons. And that would really work nicely in the movie theaters if you're going to make long form cartoons in the movie theaters, because we don't have a lot of that happening. We most definitely barely get one kids movie coming out in the theaters, and often it's not super friendly for the younger set. That being said, most of the younger set, most of really, really young kids can't sit through a theater anyway, so if you're going to let kids run around in a theater watching that, expect them to be rather rambunctious. But I think you kind of have to just come to accept that if you're going to make really, really young kid-friendly things. And there certainly would be a possible avenue in which they could make things more kid-friendly, because often things that are supposed to be kid-friendly are in some small way subversive about something, and there's a backlash of that. Anyways, I'm supposed to be talking about video games though, and I somehow started talking about that. In the not news segment, we have the Prepared to Dine teaser. Turns out it's an RPG called Code Vein, so that was clearly hype trickery. We knew that at the beginning, that they were just hyping up something that that they weren't ready to even announce the game. So clearly that's a not news situation where somebody announces a game without even announcing the name. Like, what do you want in your video game announcements? I think about this as a news reporter of sorts. It's like, I want to know the name of the game. I kind of want to know what it's about, what kind of game it is, and I want to know the release date. Those are the three things I want. So, in my head, if I have nothing else to talk about, then I might mention something beyond that, but in all realistic sense, I should only mention those 3 things. And if there's an article that doesn't mention one of those 3 things, or one of those 3 things has already been mentioned, that I should just ignore it. But yeah, I was talking about profit windows. It's like 8 years of profit, then you just let the game be free. Should that be the amount? So many other video game companies would think that's a ridiculously short amount of time. Like Bandai Konami, for example, Bandai Namco is still selling versions of Pac-Man and making money off of that, and Pac-Man certainly has been out for a lot longer than 8 years, and the idea that the original Pac-Man would go free to Bandai Namco is ridiculous. In fact, Bandai Namco, which is the reason I'm mentioning them, is trademarked Pac-Man Maker. Now, what's interesting about this is it's almost certainly because of the Google April Fool's Day prank, in which they turned Google Maps locations into Pac-Man things. So that's probably where they got the idea. They probably wanted to trademark it just to make sure that Google couldn't do that again. Maybe, but unlikely, Google was working with them, and they're going to use some of that technology in the Maker game. Kind of like Mario Maker. They're also most definitely stealing from the Mario Maker idea. The problem here, though, is the same problem that April Fool's Day joke had. It's actually not very good to make your own custom Pac-Man games. You could probably think of a few good levels, but most people aren't going to balance it right, and every single corner, every single opportunity to succeed is going to turn into this potentially situation where you're going to make bad versions. Let's see. Well, what do I want to do? I can kill this one, and I can kill this one, and then I can heal. Interesting. So, like, I don't think, like in Mario Maker, that very many people are gonna make good things. Why not War Leader? Let's see. Which one's War Leader? I don't see a War Leader card. So either I did play War Leader and I lost it, or something else happened there. We could do this, and we could do this. And that's from a new guy called Cambat. Welcome, Cambat. You always want to kill the Manatide Totem. Well, I think I killed him. I did kill him, eventually. So, yeah. And the other thing to keep in mind with the Pac-Man Maker trademark Bandai Namco made is remember that Championship Edition DX2 really wasn't that good of a game. I wonder. And also remember there's Pac-Man 256 that's laden with microtransactions on the cell phone versions, which that wasn't very much appreciated either. I can't believe I'm this far into this game, 9th turn, and still haven't won. So yeah, they're gonna come out with another Pac-Man game, and they're gonna keep on coming out with Pac-Man games, but it's certainly going to probably not be that great. Cambat says misplay. Try to be more descriptive on how I misplayed because I'm gonna misplay a lot. I'm not that great. I would say. Somebody came on my channel and criticized one of my Pinball FX2 videos and said I was quick to jump to decisions, and that I contradicted myself by saying that the lower playfield of a pinball table was empty, and then the top part of the playfield was too busy with too many ramps. And while I certainly had the idea to argue with that decision, that what would you call it, that criticism, in the end I decided, you know what, he said that he was interested in playing the table after that, so if he's happy with what he saw and it let him make his decision, I've done my job. So if I play a game badly or criticize it badly, and what you see you disagree with in my criticism, I guess that's perfectly fine by me. The last thing I want to do is become one of these critics where everybody has to agree with me, otherwise I'll change my opinion so everybody does agree with me. I also don't want to become a critic who's just being contrarian, although I often am negative, but I don't want to be contrarian just for the sake of it. I would never want to change my position just to be against other people's positions. So, particularly in Hearthstone, yeah, I know I'm not a good Hearthstone player, but I'm pretty terrible at it. I've seen lots of other people do a lot better, but I keep playing it, and it lets me talk about the news and not have to focus on a game. I couldn't cover the news if I was doing a game that was a high-action first-person shooter, or something like that. So the slower pace of this game certainly helps with that. So we finally got a victory. We're not doing too bad here. So the good news is, I suppose now we've done everything except for the win 7 games in any mode. So I'm gonna end this recording now, but stay tuned if you're watching on the live stream, and if you want to play me, we're gonna do that. It's gonna be a little bit weird because I still got some news, and we need to go 30 minutes because this will become a recording, but I have no reason not to play Friends in the next recording and work towards those 7 victories. Maybe I would have to drop off if I lose a lot, but that's going to be it for this recording. Again, stay if you're watching live. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on basically any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.